Hello everyone. Uh, Today I'm going to demonstrate the crosshatch scale, the boxes. So I'm going to draw 7 boxes next to each other, and in each box, moving from left to right, I'm going to be adding more lines at different angles to give the illusion of the surface getting darker and darker. The first box is the lightest with the fewest lines, and the last box on the right will be the darkest with the most lines. Each box is an inch and a quarter approximately. Um, the first box we're going to do vertical lines, then we'll do diagonal lines, then go back to different angled lines. And I'm going to go ahead and get started here. You can use a ruler or just a straight edge if you'd like. I'm going to start off with drawing uh, on my paper. Okay, so there's my 2 parallel lines, and I'm going to divide these into seven 1-inch boxes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I need one more box, so I'm going to extend the box out. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna go from, this is box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're gonna start off with. Oh, you know what? Before I start these dividing lines, I'm gonna extend it out top to bottom just a little bit, because these dividing lines might disappear or hard to see later on. So when I, just like that, these little extending lines. So in box 1 to 7, I'm going to just very methodically just draw a series of lines going vertically. And you just want to keep like an even tempo. You don't want to have them too spaced out. Just a nice even tempo. Try to keep the space kind of consistent. So now you notice that the paper looks darker. I'm not shading in with the pencil or your pen. I'm demonstrating with a pen, but you can use your pencil as well. Same technique. I would suggest using a 2B pencil. You can try using a 2H or a 4B pencil. The 2H pencil will be very light. So as you see, I'm just drawing down from left to right across. Just take your time. Try to be as neat as possible. You can use a ruler if you want, like a straight edge or like a old credit card or something to draw your lines. I'm just doing it by eye here, just now. What's the purpose of this? Is the purpose of this is to start to look at shapes and forms with areas of light and dark, and this is a great way to start learning how to shade and blend. Before we get to like really detailed blending and smooth blending, this is a great way for artists and students to kind of understand lights and darks. Okay. Okay, so the next series of lines, let's see, we'll do vertical lines, and then we're going to do vertical. Okay, so the next series of lines, I'm going to do a 45-degree line, this type of line right there. Okay, so I'm going to, instead of starting in box 1, we're going to leave box 1 alone now. We're going to move on to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to use this kind of diagonal line. See this angled line? Just slowly take your time. 45 degrees. Keep that consistency. Just kind of keep the same kind of rhythm. You know, slow down if you need to. So I'm just keeping that consistent 45-degree line. Be patient. So you notice that when I add this 45-degree line, the scale is starting to get darker. And again, you can use a triangle or just a straight edge like a pencil or a ruler if you want, credit card, as a straight edge. Like for example, if I wanted to use a straight edge like a pencil, I can use this to slowly guide my way. And if you really want to make it really straight, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, just keep that kind of steady rhythm. And also there's sometimes in drawing we want to keep texture. We want to keep a surface that looks rougher than the area around it. So sometimes we don't want a perfectly smooth surface. So this is a really good technique to capture that. And you can always look it up on Google and, you know, like how to crosshatch, how to create a value scale with crosshatching. So I have the first one is just vertical lines. Now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the horizontal line. Okay. Okay, let's see. The next sequence is vertical 45. Okay, so the next line I'm going to do from box 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For these, I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to angle the lines this direction. Okay, so we're going to leave 1 and 2 alone. So logically, we want to put another layer of lines in the next series of boxes. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will look darker. So I'm going to go in and start. And that's why these little guidelines on the bottom help me to show me where I need to start. So I'm going to take my time. And if you've never done this before, it's a little awkward. It's like it just takes patience and not rushing through it so that you get the effect. And the goal here is to make distinct boxes so they do look darker in each one. It gets slowly darker and darker. So I'm trying to be very consistent with the lines that I'm creating. If you would like to use an ink pen, go for it. If you would just want to use a pencil like a 2B, it'll still work, this technique. Your goal is not to make it smooth and blended. You want to see the lines, but you want to demonstrate the idea that, oh, okay, the more lines I put into a surface, an area, the darker it is because I'm preventing the light from bouncing off of that surface. The ink is actually capturing the light and not bouncing it back into our eyes. So this is a great starting exercise to be able to control light and dark that you can apply to your artwork, your designs, and make it that much bolder and dramatic. See that? We're going the opposite direction, 45-degree lines. Now let's go back, look here. Does that look slightly darker? Does 3 look slightly darker than 2? Take a look at that. You tell me. I think it looks darker. Okay, so the next line, starting at 4, we've done 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to move to 4. And that is, we're going to do a horizontal line from 4, 5, and 6. We're going to do this type of line, going just straight across. So here we go. I'm just going to go just like almost like very robot-like, just kind of regimented, just going straight across. It takes some discipline, steady hand. You can use a ruler again, but you want to keep that evenness, you know, like going across. Take a little break sometimes. Look at that, just a nice steady beat going across. I want to keep the same kind of distance between each line. If I mess up a few lines here and there, no problem. But the goal is to just keep that consistency going across. And okay, so comparing 4 to 3, does it look darker? It's not a huge jump, but there is a jump. I think this one is a little bit darker. We're gonna keep with our plan here. Let's see here, this next line. See, so for number box 5, 6, and 7, we're gonna go back to our vertical line. Okay, so we're gonna leave 1, 2, 3, 4 alone, and we're just gonna go 5, 6, 7. We're going to add a vertical, another series of vertical lines. Just take your time. Vertical lines. So basically the theory is the more lines we create, the darker it becomes. And this will help us with our shadows later on. It'll help us to understand shape and form defined by light and dark rather than just line. So this is an understanding of light and dark in our compositions that'll help you with bringing attention to certain areas of your composition. It can help you make things look more three-dimensional, more realistic. Okay, I think that definitely made it darker. 4 and 5 are definitely darker now. Can you see that on the camera? Okay. So let's see here. So we did up to 5. Now we have 2 more left. Let's see here. 6, we're going to go back to our diagonal line, 6 and 7. So let's slowly go ahead and do our diagonal line here. Just take your time and series of diagonal lines going in this direction. And this is an exercise, and it just it's important to kind of understand and feel the light and dark, and how to understand how to create it with this simple technique. It's a very logical technique, and by demonstrating this for you, it doesn't become mysterious. You're like, oh, how do I do this? I'm actually showing you how to do this. So if you pay attention and give it a try, you're seeing it before in front of you on a video, like how to do this. You can always message me if you're having difficulty. I can give you some feedback as well. There you go. Look at that. So 6 and 7 definitely look darker, a little bit darker than 5. Okay. And so far, I think I like the progression. You see that progression of light, slowly darker and darker and darker. Now for the last one, I'm going to go back to the reversed diagonal line. So the last number 7 is our last square. I'm going to just go add our last series of so take your time, again 45 degrees from a different angle. Wow, look at that. It's like we just did a little weaving here of lines, and I think that looks pretty good. And before I finish out this video, I just want to talk to you about angles. So you guys remember the compass from geometry class? So this is this angle right here from the base, which is 0 degrees. This is 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees. So this angle right here is 45, okay? Going in this direction. And the opposite half of 90 is 45, right? So that's going in that direction. This angle is 45 degrees. So this is 0, this is 90, this is 45. So these are correspondingly, these are the direction, the angle of the line. So there's an angle here, that's 0. That's an angle here, that's supposed to be 90 right there. So vertical, horizontal, diagonal, the opposite direction, horizontal 0 degrees, and going back to 45 angle. Okay, and I hope you like that demonstration. Follow this. You can scrub through it if you've done this before. Try to match the original. Try to match this process. You can see the example in the assignment page. And good luck with this assignment.